Shalom, Kol Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule and teach well in this truth. And shalom to all the brothers out there that are pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. I just wanted to bring out a couple scriptures. I just watched the elder apostle Ramlab's live stream on if you don't have any topics, get back to the basics. Slack here for the pause. I was getting a call, but as I was saying, I was watching the Apostle Ramlab's Apostle Elder Ramlab's live stream just now about getting back to the basics, and this scripture has been popping out a lot lately. I'm just gonna grab it. This is the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 62, and it says, "And Yahushua said unto him, No man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of the Most High." And that's plain and simple. Once you start this walk, once you start this ministry, once you begin to claim to be a disciple of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai, there's no turning back. There's no stopping. No, yes, it's understood that brothers may get weak. Brothers may fall here and there. But it's not an excuse to stop doing the work. And this one puts it plain and simple. If you're gonna be one of those brothers that stops doing the work, slog. Turn this off. There we go. And if you're gonna be one of those brothers that stops doing the work after you started, then you weren't wise enough to count the cost in the beginning before you even started this course. And let me just get this last scripture here. And in the same book, it tells you that. This is Luke chapter 14. And I'm starting at verse 28. It says, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?" So Yahushua is comparing starting this true to building a tower, because like it says, the name of the Lord is a mighty tower. So once you start to prophesy on these highways and byways, once you start to go out and preach this word, preach this truth, you should have already known what it would cost. You should have already known that there's a possibility that you could lose your job, that there's a possibility that your wife might leave you, that you could lose your children, that you could die in this truth. That's counting the cost. That you will be hated of all men that were not of this truth. But if you didn't consider any of that before you started going out on the highways and byways, if you didn't take into account the entire truth, and you just thought that it was going to be cursing out the so-called white man, Esau Edom, or that it was just going to be going out on Saturdays and then afterwards going out with the brothers and grabbing a bite to eat, then you would be sorely mistaken. And we can see what happens when brothers aren't just sincere in this truth. They'll eventually gas out. And then just to compare it to sports, because Paul was The Apostle Paul was a man of sports. You have those that are sincere and actually do want to succeed in whatever sport it is: basketball, baseball, football, track and field. And then you have those that are just talented and they get by. Eventually, those ones that are just talented, that don't really put in the work, don't really get to the peak. They don't really succeed in that sport. But the ones that are dedicated, the ones that actually do want to be a part of that sport, those are the ones that end up succeeding and have continued success. The difference would be Steph Curry and Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was way more talented as far as physical attributes go than Stephen Curry. But as we famously know, Allen Iverson said practice. We're talking about practice. He didn't like to practice. He thought it was all about the game. The game. I don't have to put in the practice as long as I perform in the game. And on the opposite, Steph Curry was all about practice, and we can see the results. One has multiple championships, multiple MVPs. The other one is a Hall of Famer, yes, but there's really not much to show for it. It's the same in its truth. You have the elder apostles, starting with Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Gabar, Elder Apostle Ramab, Elder Apostle Rakam. And then the elders below them, going all the way down, that are disciplined in this truth, that counted the cost and keep putting in the work, keep putting in the practice, and that practice would be putting out their videos, going out on the highways and byways, week in and week out, in season and out of season. And we can see the tower that's being built off that strong foundation, which is this truth, this word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But finishing up, verse 29, it says, "Lest haply, after he hath laid the foundation, and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build, and was not able to finish." And it goes into, if you want to be a person that starts something, you better know how to finish it. And you better make sure that you have enough to finish. A wise man knows how many bricks it takes to build the house before he starts building it. He would gather the proper amount, and then he would begin to build. But a foolish man would say, we can deal with it as we go along, not considering the cost. And in the end, when they're not able to finish, everybody that's been watching them is going to mock him and say, why would you even start if you knew you weren't going to finish? And it's the same for this truth. Once you begin to preach, once you begin to go out on the highways and byways, once you begin to do these videos, you cannot stop. Shalom.